and welcome to this voiceover for eRider's December 2023 Intro B. This is Rosie's first ever competition, so I was super excited. So I just thought it'd be nice to share what she scored and what the comments were from the judge. So just as we start here, Rosie's still quite a young horse, well, very young horse. It's her first test and she's still struggling with centre lines. So how I prepared this centre line was actually quite key. I didn't want her to lose balance around the corner, so I just asked to come back to walk, rebalanced her and got her onto the centre line. So for the centre line, she scored a 7. Nice and centre line with energy, could be more even and steady in contact, which is something that we're working on. For the next movement, we got a 6.5, losing some balance and came against the hand towards K. This is kind of, yeah, you'll see as she comes around a corner what this is. This is just as I'm asking for the downward transition. So she's just, her downward transitions aren't the greatest. So she just comes up a bit there, but still good. For the walk, she got a 6.5. Pleasing steps, could be a little more relaxed and consistent to contact. Again, totally agree here. She usually has a really good walk, but there seemed to be a magnet at this point of the arena and she just wasn't going forwards enough. At C, we're going to go into working trot. She got a 6.5 for this and also for the circle. Tempo, a little quick and some loss of balance. I don't know whether I'd necessarily say that. I suppose the loss of balance they're seeing is her poking her nose, but I've definitely seen far worse. Then for the next movement, which is KAF, she got a 6.5, a little hurried. For this movement, the walk and the change rein and medium walk, she got a 7. I was pleased with this. At this point, if we're getting 7s for our walks, I'm really happy. I'd say walk is a highlight. And to get her to do it in a test is very good. So we got a 6 for this movement. Quick and coming above contact and tilting muzzle. She does sometimes tilt her head, so I think that's just something we've got to be mindful of, but it wasn't the worst. I'd say she's probably better on this rein than the other rein, but yeah. Then FAK, contacts varying, 6.5. K walk, she got 6.5 for the transition. We could have got far more. She was tilting her nose left. And then E was a half circle right on a free walk on a long rein. And again, we come to the bit of the arena where she has the magnet, which wasn't really helping. So we got a 6.5, tempo varied and some tension. Then she got for her medium walk against hand, and then a 6.5 for her transition up to work medium trot. And then we got a 6.5 for our finish, pushing through left shoulder, some loss of balance to halt, which, yeah, fair. But all in all, not bad for a first test that we have videoed 2 times, so she was a little bit annoyed by then. First of all, I must apologise before we get onto the eclectives. I didn't realise when I was doing the voiceover there, but this was the cat that you could hear screaming in the background. It's his feed time, so he's just being a little bit like, I want my food now. But yeah, he's on my lap now, so he's feeling much happier. So anyway, onto the collectives. So for my position, I got a 7. For my rider results, I got a 6.5. I think that's fairly fair. I really like to be achieving 7s for all those, but obviously the marks she scored on the test, she couldn't give any higher. Then for rhythm, we got a 7, which is excellent because that's something I really struggled with my last horse, and I'm really understanding that better now. She just underlined consistent tempo, which is kind of fair enough. Contact, we got a 6.5, which again is fair enough. Acceptance of bridle was underlined, totally agree with that. And then suppleness, 6.5. Suppleness of back, I don't know. I just think they underline that because they can. Anyway, overall, she said there's a lot to like, lots of energy. Just be careful the tempo doesn't get too quick and affect the balance and consistency to the contact. I do agree with that mostly, although I think I wouldn't want to slow her down. I think a lot of people slow their horses down too much, and then that really affects how it looks. And then as balance and confidence develop, higher marks will be waiting. So actually that's great. That is exactly what I wanted to be hearing at this stage. It was her first test. She's only been broken literally a few weeks by this point when she did that test. So I don't know, there's not many. Most of the horses in that class, I imagine, have been broken in a good few years, looking at them. So I think Rosie was probably really good. And even better, Rosie got her first Brilly. Yay! So she came 5th. And I was absolutely pleased with that. I really recommend e-riders as something to do with your young horse, or any horse really, especially if you're like stepping up the levels or you can't get out. I think it's absolutely great. I love it, and we're definitely going to be doing some more. I'm also doing qualifiers for the National Equine Show. At the point that I'm actually doing this video, we have qualified, so you'll have to look out for that one. And yeah, I had 2 goals to finish 2023 with. One was go to the forest and ride her in the forest, and one was to do her first dressage test, and we achieved both those goals. So I'm absolutely over the moon, and it was a nice end to 23 and a good start to 24. So yeah, I will be doing look out for my updates on Educating Rosie. Look out for my videos, and I've got lots of exciting stuff coming up and lots more e-riders. So if you really enjoyed this, please let me know, because I quite like doing the voiceovers. So if you like them, just give me a thumbs up. And if there's anything else you want to ask me about how I go about training a youngster, then I'm always here. So just drop me a comment.